There are hummingbirds everywhere. Hummingbirds everywhere. I put a hummingbird feeder right here on my patio, and the hummingbirds come all day. It's such a blessing. It's still there. He is just drinking. I don't know if you can see. Right there. You see him? You see him up there in the bird feeder? You see him just drinking away? He wanted a little camera time too. You see him up there? You gotta see him all the way here. Right here drinking. He's been drinking for a while. Oop. See him? He's drinking. See him right there in that feeder drinking. Enjoy. There's your baby. The hummingbirds come all day. Special vibration, special frequency. Thirsty, ain't you? Don't take it all. Listen, I learned a trick. I have a neighbor upstairs. She's 81 years old. I love her so much, from France. And I actually dressed her for Halloween. She had all these parties to go to for Halloween. It was so crazy. I dressed her for Halloween. I think she's 82 now. And I'm like, okay, have fun. Don't stay out too late. I'll be here. It was so weird. It's such a weird, but I enjoy dressing her up. Made her into an earth goddess. An earth goddess is who she was. Love her. Je parle français un peu. Yes, yes, oui, oui. Je m'appelle Tina. Je m'appelle Christina Renee McDowell. Oui, oui. Ooh, I love French. Anyway, the reason why I reference her, you're like, okay, why are we talking about her? Is because she taught me how to make nectar. Because I was buying all this nectar and spending all this money on nectar, and they weren't liking it and they weren't drinking it, and I was getting offended, and I was like, how dare they not drink my nectar? And then I talked to Francoise about it, because when I say the hummingbirds, I mean, they're just swarming. I've never seen anything like it. I walk outside, I'm like, am I in heaven? What is this? What is this? They're just everywhere, these hummingbirds, right? And I said, Francoise, what's your secret? Because I'm buying all this nectar. And she said, well, you're buying nectar? You don't buy nectar. And I said, oh, wise one, well, tell me, what do you do? Please tell me. And she says, you go buy cane sugar, white cane sugar, and for every 1 cup sugar, you do 2 cups water, or 3 cups. It depends on how sweet it is, how sweet you want to make it, how addicted you want to make the hummingbirds, how much diabetes you want to give them. But anyway, they love it. They drink my nectar all day. My nectar brings all the birds to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. I've been wanting to say that forever. Anyway, I love hummingbirds, and they have so much symbolism. So every time you see one, know that you are in the flow. Such a sign of happiness and good luck and such joy. That vibration defies everything. They shouldn't be able to fly like they do. Just like bees. Bees and scarabs, all of them, they defy gravity because their bodies are way too big. But they have cones in their wings. Cones that cause a vibration. Cones in their wings that cause a vibration. They're not flapping. Because of the cones in the currents of the air, they're vibrating, perhaps even using the electricity or of the air, magnetism, the cones. It's the same thing, and you'll see in a lot of Egyptian hieroglyphics, you'll see a lot of them holding cones. And the gentleman who built the coral castle, who defied everybody, and the reason why I mentioned hieroglyphics, because I'm talking about the pyramids, and the gentleman who built the coral castle, he basically had a pyramid-like structure in his for his home, his fortress, and people said that he would be walking around with something that looked like an ice cream cone, and it's the same type of cone that you'll see the Egyptians holding. Because these cones, it's how you harness magnetic energy and maybe electricity too, but definitely magnetism, something, the invisible energies, that's how you harness it with a cone, with these cones. And that's how you can build things that are way out of possibilities. It's because you're using the powers of the universe. There could have been giants too. There's questions that they were giants as well that might have contributed to the building of the pyramids. But Coral Castle, which took place in the last century, that guy, he built it because he was brokenhearted. He kind of got left at the altar or something like that. And he built that home kind of for his sweetie in remembrance of her. But people around the town said he'd be walking around with cones and humming and whistling and carrying big stones that were way too huge for him to carry. He was a smaller man. And yeah, something about those hummingbirds, they hold secrets. They hold secrets to it all. Their wings are special. And that scarab and that bee. And interesting thing about all of them, if you look deep, their bodies, their feathers, their wings, a lot of them have an iridescent quality. An iridescent. That's the other thing that they all have in common. Scarabs are so beautiful. You see how iridescent they are? Hummingbirds, I just started noticing them recently, how iridescent. Recently, I saw one who had like a hot magenta neck and breast. It was iridescent. It was like a hot pink, vibrant, like showing off just beauty. This hummingbird. Never seen one this beautiful. Yeah, I love hummingbirds. Why do I say all that? Yes, I'm into hummingbirds, but what else is there? Every Sunday, I do FaceTime with my family, and it's a joy. And my brother knows how much I love hummingbirds. Shout out to my family. Hey, Mom. Yeah, my brother knows how much I love, hey, Dad. I heard my father was like, hello? Excuse me? Excuse me? McDowell in the house? Sorry, Dad. Shout out. Grandparents, and I hear everybody. Just listen. Just listen. Is it because I have on the white? Is that why everybody's coming out? All the ancestors, you wear white for the ancestors. I don't know. Maybe. Thank you, gratitude. Let's ground in it then. Shoot. Ancestors are here. Yours. We welcome your ancestors as well. Welcome. The invisible world and this energy and this intention setting and really what we're doing, it's all real. It's all real. For a second, I had my doubts. I don't know why I questioned the invisible realm. But my faith is back. So much truth every day. So much truth, so much proof all day, every day. It's just amazing. So grateful. Gratitude, gratitude. So back to the hummingbirds, back to everything. And I didn't even mean to sit here and talk about hummingbirds, but yes. So every Sunday I do FaceTime with my family, and my brother knows how much I love hummingbirds because I'm sitting right here every time, and all of a sudden a hummingbird might pop up. Never for as long as it just popped up with you all. It just popped up for a long time. It and just was drinking, just comfortable. I feel like it wanted the airtime. I really do. But yeah, so my brother knows how much I love hummingbirds, and we talk about it a lot. And my brother's really into bird watching. What's it called? Actuary? What's it called? But my brother's a real one. He really has been studying birds for a while. He's into it. Virgos, you know, they like small animals, dogs, cats, birds, everything. Virgos, it's the sixth house. Sixth house is all about small animals. Virgo in your chart, not just Virgos, it's everybody. Everybody has Virgo in your chart, but it just depends. Aquarians too. House of pets. If your sixth house is Cancer, and Cancer is the way that you nurture, that's how you mother another, then your children become your pets on a lot of level. Aquariuses, Aquarius risings, people with Aquarius, strong Aquarius, but Aquariuses and Aquarius rising, they can become so attached to their pets because it is their children for real on a lot of levels. But Virgo too. So, and everyone. Shoot, my sixth house is Virgo, and I have Saturn there. That's heavy. You would think that would be rough, but the Saturn there makes it like my duty, my daily pride and integrity, and what makes my psyche okay is to have my dog and my small pets. It's like, it's necessary. It's absolutely a need with Saturn there, a daily need, Saturn in Virgo. But that's not even why we're here right now. And we weren't even here for the hummingbirds, but the hummingbirds just showed up and said, listen, talk. Ancestors were like, listen, talk about the hummingbirds and the connection to it all. So my brother knows, how many times I'm going to try to tell this. My brother knows how much I love hummingbirds. And this summer I went to visit my family. Hadn't been home in a couple of years, hadn't seen them in 2 years. And because I had some situations that it wasn't good for me to fly, and then COVID happened, and it was just, I hadn't been home in a while. And I go home just a couple months ago in 2021 here. And it's when, I guess, the COVID surge is on the rise. Delta, it's the Delta. That's what's out at that time, at the end of August. And people are getting sick. And so it's a little nerve-wracking because my family and I, we have two opposing views when it comes to the shot, the experimental shot. We have two opposing views when it comes to what COVID is and how to deal with it. And I know that's controversial, but that's just, yeah. And go home, see my brother, and we're hanging out. Mom having a good time, had one of the best embraces and welcomes. It was so beautiful. Like we danced in the yard and music was playing and we were having the best time. It was beautiful. About maybe 2 hours in, the COVID discussion started. I think it might even been my fault, actually. It might have been. And we get into the worst fight, where I'm calling on every bit of every yoga and type of breath and yogic prayer and breathing to just center myself. One of my yoga teachers recently said, if an occasion like that ever occurs, you just get in like child's pose. You just get on the ground. Instead of fighting with your family, just get on the ground in child's pose and they'll stop. They'll leave you alone. They'll be like, what the? It's just so disarming. But at the time, first I didn't know what to do and I was fighting back. I felt like I was fighting for my life. I was in survival mode. I'm yelling and screaming at my family. They're yelling and screaming at me. I don't believe in this. I love them. I don't want to do that. But I got triggered and I literally, it was like I was fighting for my life. And it was bad. And they said they were like, they pity me. It was bad. They were harsh. My mother and my brother, they both know how to just really the Scorpio, my mom, and the Virgo, my brother, and they always team up. See, my father used to be on my team. My father, we was together. We would be teammates, and I know he'd have my back right now. I know he'd have my back. But, interesting, my mother texts right now as we're talking. Okay, maybe she'd have my back too. I love you too, Mom. Calm down. Don't get involved. She literally texted right now as we were doing this. But I know for sure that my father would have had my back in this situation. They fight me all the time on this. It's so crazy. We're fighting over what our dead father, her husband, would have done regarding COVID. How are we going to fight on how he would have decided? We fight, no, he would have said this. I even came with to them with the fact that I said, Dad came to me in a dream. He came to me in a dream and told me y'all was being dumb. Like, I use that angle. It's true, though. I'm telling you, he came to me. He was like, just relax, In the big grand scheme, everybody will figure it out. It was a detailed dream, though. It was amazing. He came to me. And he was like, it's all good. All love, all love. Some all love. Breathing, yogic breathing. Centering myself. As they're saying things that are hurtful, and I have to forgive myself for what I had just said that was so mean and hurtful to them. And I'm like, how did I get here? I know better than all of this. How did my balance, how did my peace get taken away? How did I lose it? And I centered myself and centered all the energy. And the day ended. My brother went home. We all went to bed. And the next morning, before I could even do anything, before I even started my day, there was like a text and a phone call from my brother. We had just had a vicious fight, but first thing in the morning, he's texting and calling. What? And I'm curious, and I'm like, calling back, what's up? I thought you hated me. You pitied me. I was pathetic in your eyes. Like, what changed? He's like, oh my God. Like, what? Rewind to 2 years of FaceTiming, or a little less than that, but having this Hummingbird feeder, and my brother being one who loves to watch birds, and he had bought Is it a juniper tree? Is it a juniper? What's the tree? Hibiscus? Oh my gosh, I forgot the flower that they love. He had bought a bush of this to call forth the hummingbirds too, because he had seen me with my hummingbirds and he wanted some hummingbirds too, right? So he had gotten this beautiful bush, but the hummingbirds had been months and months and months and months. But he was barren of hummingbirds. No hummingbirds anywhere. None. But me, hummingbirds. All day, all day. And he had the real tree that calls them forth. But no hummingbirds. I come home, we have the most epic argument of our lives. Wake up the next morning, I feel like, I'm like, am I dead to him? Like, it's just over. My own brother. He calls me with such a sense of urgency. I'm like, what? What is it, brother? What is it? What happened? Are you just about to say you're done with me forever? And he goes, no, Tina. I'm like, what? He said, after all these months of no hummingbirds, I wake up this morning, I look out the window, and not just one, but there's 2 hummingbirds on my bush. And I scream. He's like, he screams, and his wife is like, what? And he screams and he yells, Tina! And he knew. He just knew. I can't even describe what he knew. You either know, like he just knew that it was all connected and it's all God and it's all love and it's all ancestors and it's all one. And Tina's right. Tina's right. Okay, he didn't say Tina's right. He did not say that. But I think in his soul, in his subconscious, that's what he said. That's what he knew. Anyway, it's no right or wrong, because if you make a right, then what really is that? That's on their square. It's not really a right. It's supposed to be a little bit like this, like at an angle. Angle is the angel. That's all. I'm always doing too much. Like, what? Anyway. The point is, Spirit is talking. Give it space, and Spirit will talk to everybody and all of us and heal everything. Be patient and be kind with one another and our loved ones in this situation, in these times, because there's just so much going on and so much information, and we're all at different levels on the spiral of existence. And it's all good. Everybody's here to teach you a lesson. We're all teaching each other the lessons that we need so that we can move on and grow. It's bigger than right and wrong. Love as much as you can. Peace of mind. It's all about peace of mind. Yeah. So feed the hummingbirds.